Why do Americans care so much about sports? Why do games make people cry, celebrate, and remember moments for years? Welcome to a calm English conversation. You don't need perfect English here. Just listen and relax. If you enjoy slow, real English, subscribe now. And tell me, do sports feel this important in your country?
Sometimes you listen to English and you feel tired before you even start. Like you already know it will be hard. You already feel behind. And maybe you think, yeah, Americans talk fast, they talk about sports, and I don't understand why it matters so much. That feeling can be heavy. You are not alone in that.
Yeah, I get that. A lot of people feel pressure when they hear English, especially when the topic feels far away from their life. Sports can feel loud, confusing, and very emotional. And you might think, why is this everywhere? Why does everyone care so much? It can feel like you're missing something important.
And maybe you tell yourself, I should understand this by now. I should know these words. I should feel confident. But instead, you feel quiet. You feel slow. And honestly, that's okay. You don't need to be fast here. You don't need to be perfect here.
Right. This space is slow on purpose. You can breathe. You can just listen. You can miss some words and still be okay. Little by little, English grows. And today, we're just talking. Like two people sitting together, talking about why sports matter so much in American life.
If you like learning English this way, slowly and calmly, you can subscribe and come back anytime. No pressure. Just when you need it.
Welcome. You're listening to a calm English conversation. This podcast is made for learning, but also for resting your mind a little. You don't need to hurry here. You don't need to prove anything. You can just sit back, breathe, and listen. Even if you understand only some parts, that is still learning. Staying with the sound of English is already progress.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people think learning English always has to feel serious. Like a test. Like pressure. But it doesn't. Can feel soft. Can feel slow. Can feel like background music while you live your life. That's what we want here. A place where English feels friendly. Not scary.
Today we're talking about sports in America. Not the rules. Not the scores. Not the difficult words. Just why people care so much. Why it feels emotional. Why it shows up everywhere. You might hear people talk about sports on TV, online, at work, or even with strangers. And you might wonder why it matters so much to them.
In the United States, sports are more than games. They are part of daily life. For many people, sports are connected to family. Parents watch games with children. Friends meet to watch together. Some people remember watching games when they were very young. Those memories stay strong.
Yeah, and sports are also about belonging. When someone supports a team, they feel part of something bigger. They feel connected to other people who support the same team. Even if they don't know each other, they feel close for a moment. That feeling is powerful.
You might notice that people talk about sports at work. It's an easy topic. You don't need to talk about personal things. You can just say, "Did you watch the game?" And suddenly a conversation starts. Sports help people connect without too much effort.
And if you're learning English, sports words appear again and again. On TV. On social media. In news. In small talk. Even if you don't follow sports, you still hear the language. So understanding the feeling behind sports helps you understand conversations better.
You don't need to memorize anything today. You don't need to take notes. Just listen. Let the ideas repeat. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is how the brain learns. Hearing the same idea in different ways helps it feel natural.
It's okay if this topic feels new. It's okay if sports are not interesting to you. You don't need to like sports to understand why others like them. Curiosity is enough. Just a small interest. Just a quiet question in your mind.
Yeah, and it's also okay if you feel slow. Many learners feel slow, but slow is not bad. Slow means careful. Slow means deep. Language learned slowly often stays longer. You're not late. You're right where you need to be.
This podcast is a safe place. You can pause when you want. You can listen again tomorrow. You can listen while walking, cooking, or resting. There is no correct way to listen. Whatever feels good for you is right.
We speak slowly on purpose. We repeat ideas on purpose. That's not because you are weak. It's because the brain likes calm. When the brain feels safe, learning becomes easier.
Sometimes people feel shy about English. They worry about mistakes. They worry about pronunciation. Here, mistakes are welcome. Even when you don't understand something, your brain is still working. It's still learning the rhythm.
Think of English like a river. You don't jump into the deep water on the first day. You sit near the edge. You listen to the sound. You touch the water slowly. Over time, you feel comfortable.
Sports, language, life. They all work the same way. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare yourself to others. Everyone has a different path.
So as we talk about sports today, don't think of it as a lesson. Think of it as a quiet conversation. Two people talking. You are just listening in.
If your mind feels tired, that's okay. If your mind feels calm, that's good too. Just stay with the feeling. English will grow quietly, little by little, without stress.
You're doing well just by being here. Keep listening. Keep breathing. There is nothing else you need to do right now.
I remember feeling confused about this at first. Like, why is everyone so serious about one game? One ball, one field, one result. People get so happy. People get really angry. Sometimes even quiet for hours. It felt intense to me. I mean, I was thinking, how can this matter so much?
Yeah, same. I used to think it's just a game. Someone wins, someone loses, and then life goes on. But after living there for a while, I noticed something different. People weren't only watching the sport itself. They were sharing feelings. They were sharing time. The game was kind of just the reason.
When you sit with someone during a game, you're not really talking all the time. You're just there. Sitting. Watching. Reacting together. That's rare in daily life. Usually people are busy. Phones. Work. Stress. But during a game, everyone stops for a moment.
Yeah, and for many Americans, sports connect them to childhood. That part surprised me. People would say things like, "My dad used to watch this team," or, "I remember this game from when I was 10. You could hear the emotion in their voice. It wasn't about today. It was about memory.
I saw that too. Watching games with parents. Sitting on the floor as a kid. Eating snacks. Hearing the same sounds every season. For some people, it's one of the few memories where the whole family was together. That feeling stays strong.
And there's also tradition. Wearing the same team shirt every year. Sitting in the same seat. Watching the same day of the week. It gives structure. When life feels messy, tradition feels safe.
Yeah. Life changes fast. Jobs change. Cities change. People move. But the team stays the same. The rules stay mostly the same. There's comfort in that. It's something familiar in an unfamiliar world.
Another thing I noticed is how sports help people talk to each other, especially people who don't know each other well. At work, for example, you don't want to talk about personal problems, but you can say, "Did you see the game last night?" And suddenly there's a conversation.
Exactly. It's like an easy bridge. You don't need deep language. You don't need perfect English. Just a few words. Team names. Feelings. That was crazy. That was painful. Simple sentences, but strong connection.
I think that's important, especially in a busy life. People feel lonely even around others. Sports give a reason to feel something together. Even with strangers, you can be in a bar, a train, a living room, and suddenly you're connected for one moment.
Yeah, I remember watching a game in a public place once. When the team scored, everyone stood up at the same time. People smiled at each other. Some hugged strangers. For a few seconds, everyone felt close. That doesn't happen often.
And for people who feel stressed or tired, sports are an emotional release. They can shout, they can cheer, they can complain. It's a safe way to let emotions out. After the game, they feel lighter.
Of course, sometimes people take it too seriously. They argue. They get upset. That part can feel strange. But underneath that behavior, there's usually something else. Passion. Identity. Belonging.
Yeah. When someone says, "This team is my life," they don't mean only the sport. They mean the memories, the people, the feeling of being part of something bigger than themselves.
And I think that's why sports are everywhere in American culture. On TV. On clothes. In language. It's not because everyone loves the game itself. It's because everyone understands the feeling.
For English learners, that's important. You don't need to understand all the rules. You don't need to know every player. But if you understand why people care, conversations make more sense. Jokes make more sense. Reactions make more sense.
Yeah, you start to hear phrases like, "we won," even though the person didn't play. And at first that sounds strange. But then you realize, "we" means the group. The community. The shared identity.
So when Americans care about sports, it's not really about winning or losing. It's about connection, about sharing time, about feeling something together in a world that often feels rushed and separate.
And once you see it that way, it feels softer. Less aggressive. More human. Just people trying to feel close, even for a short moment.
I like to think of sports like a story, a long story that never really ends. Every season feels like a new chapter. Some chapters are exciting and full of hope. Some chapters are slow. Some are painful. And some feel unfair. But people keep reading. They don't stop the story just because one chapter was hard.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And life feels exactly like that. You don't win every chapter. Some years are strong. Some years are quiet. Some years feel like nothing is moving. But the story is still going, even when it feels boring or heavy.
In sports, there are moments people remember forever. A big win, a last-second score. But there are also losses that hurt for years. People say things like, "I still remember that game." It stays with them, just like moments in life.
Right. And no one expects a story to be perfect. If every chapter was happy, it would feel fake. The hard chapters give meaning to the good ones. Sports teach that in a simple way. You can feel sad and still stay loyal.
I also think sports are like a journey. You don't just arrive at the end. You walk with the team for many years. Sometimes the path is smooth. Sometimes it's rough. Sometimes you feel tired and want to stop watching. But most people don't. They stay.
Yeah, and that part feels very human. Staying even when it's hard. Following something even when it disappoints you. That's not just sports. That's relationships. That's work. That's learning something new.
Honestly, learning English feels very similar to this journey. Some days you understand everything. You feel proud. You feel smart. And other days nothing makes sense. Words disappear. Confidence goes down. Feels frustrating.
Exactly. And just like sports fans, English learners sometimes say, "I'm done. I'll never be good." But then they come back. They listen again. They try again. Because deep inside, they still care.
I like the river metaphor for this. Learning English is like a river. It moves slowly. You don't see change every day, but it never stops. Even when the water looks calm, it's still moving forward.
Yeah. And sports feel like that too. One game doesn't change everything. One loss doesn't end the journey. The season keeps moving. The river keeps flowing. Progress happens quietly.
When a team loses, people feel real sadness. It's not fake. Can feel heavy. But there's also something else there. Hope. People say, next year will be better. Or we'll try again.
That hope is powerful. It keeps people coming back. Even after disappointment. Even after years without winning. That feeling of, maybe next time, is very strong.
And that hope is something learners need too. You don't need to feel confident every day. You just need a little hope. The idea that tomorrow can be a bit better than today.
Sports also show that losing doesn't mean failure. A team can lose and still grow. They learn. They change strategy. They become stronger. Losing is part of becoming better.
Yeah, and that's such an important lesson. Making mistakes in English doesn't mean you're bad at it. It means you're in the middle of the journey. Mistakes are like losses. They teach you where to grow.
I think that's why sports touch people emotionally. They see their own life inside the game. Effort. Waiting. Disappointment. Small wins. Big hopes.
And for English learners listening now, maybe this feels familiar. Maybe you feel like you're in a hard chapter or a slow season. That doesn't mean you're stuck forever.
It just means this chapter is doing its job. Teaching you patience. Teaching you resilience. Teaching you to keep going even when progress feels invisible.
Sports remind people that it's okay to feel sad and hopeful at the same time. You can be disappointed today and excited for tomorrow. Both feelings can live together.
And that's a calm thought. You don't need to rush. You don't need to finish the story quickly. You're allowed to move at your own speed.
Just like a long season, just like a slow river, just like learning English.
If you want to use this topic to learn English, it really helps to start very small. You don't need to watch a full game. You don't need to understand the rules. You don't need to know the names of the players. Small is good. Small is safe.
Yeah, a lot of learners think they must do everything at once. Watch the whole match. Learn many words. Understand fast speech. That can feel heavy. And when learning feels heavy, we stop.
So instead, choose one tiny action. Something that feels easy. Something that doesn't make your heart race. For example, you can listen to one short sports clip. Maybe just 1 minute. That's it.
When you listen, don't try to catch every word. That's not the goal. Focus on the feeling. Is the speaker excited? Calm? Serious? Happy? Understanding the emotion is also understanding English.
Right. Language is not only grammar and vocabulary. It's emotion, tone, energy. Sports talk is very good for this. People show feelings clearly. They repeat ideas. They use simple words again and again.
Another small step is learning just one or two sports words. Not a long list, just a few. Words like team, game, win, lose, season. These words appear everywhere.
Yeah, and you don't need to memorize them perfectly. Just notice them. When you hear win, think, okay, that's something good. When you hear lose, think, okay, that's something sad. That's enough.
You can also practice by making very short sentences in your head. For example, my team won, or they lost the game. Simple sentences help your brain feel relaxed.
And if you feel shy speaking, that's okay. You don't need to talk to anyone yet. You can practice quietly. In your mind. or by writing one sentence in a notebook.
Another gentle action is to notice how people talk about sports, not what they talk about. Listen to how often they repeat words, how they use simple phrases, how they say the same idea in different ways.
Yeah, you'll hear things like, it was a tough game, or, that was really tough. Same meaning. Different words. That repetition is very helpful for learners.
You can also choose one short video or audio and listen to it again another day. Repeating is not boring. Repeating is how learning happens. Each time you understand a little more.
And remember, consistency is more important than speed. 10 minutes every day is better than 1 hour once a week. Small steps done often build strong habits.
There's also something important about comfort. If you feel stressed while learning, your brain closes a little. If you feel calm, your brain opens. So choose learning that feels gentle.
That's why topics like sports can help. Even if you don't love sports, the emotions are clear. Happy, sad, hopeful, disappointed. These feelings are easy to recognize.
You can even connect sports words to your own life. You don't need to talk about real teams. You can say things like, "Today was a win for me," or "This week felt like a loss." That's real English.
Yeah, English is flexible like that. Words move from sports into daily life. And when you understand that, conversations feel less scary.
Another small action is listening without pressure. You don't need to pause. You don't need to repeat. You can just let the sound play while you cook or walk.
Your brain is still learning, even when you think it's not. That's important to remember. Learning happens quietly.
Some days you'll feel motivated. Some days you won't. On low energy days, your micro action can be very tiny. Maybe just listening for 2 minutes, or reading one short sentence.
And if you miss a day, that's okay. Missing a day doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're human. You can always come back the next day.
The goal is not perfection. The goal is connection. Feeling connected to the language. Feeling safe with it. Feeling like it's part of your life.
Over time, these tiny actions add up. 1 word becomes 5 words. 1 minute becomes 10. 1 sentence becomes a short conversation.
And you don't need to rush that process. Just like sports seasons, learning has its own timing. You can trust it.
So today, your only job is to choose one small step. Just one. Something easy. Something kind.
Maybe it's learning one word. Maybe it's listening to 1 minute. Maybe it's just noticing how English sounds.
That's enough. Small steps work. Always.
Let's slow down a little and look at some easy words together. You don't need to remember everything. Just listen. Let the words feel familiar. That's enough for now.
Yeah, think of this like a calm walk through a few words you may hear often. These words are very common in American English, especially when people talk about sports, but also in daily life.
The first word is team. A team is a group of people who work or play together. In sports, it's the players on one side. But in life, we also use this word a lot. For example, my team won. Or even, we are a good team at work. It's about togetherness.
Right, team is a warm word in many ways. It means you are not alone. You belong to a group. That's why people feel emotional about their team. It feels personal.
The next word is game. A game is one match or one competition. For example, I watched the game last night. But we also use game in other ways. We say, life is not a game. Or, this job changed the game for me. So it's a flexible word.
Yeah, and when people talk about a game, they often talk about feelings. A good game. A hard game. A boring game. You don't need to know the details. Just noticing the feeling is enough.
Another word is season. A season is a period of time when sports are played. For example, This season was exciting. But again, we use this word in life too. We say, I'm in a hard season of my life. Or, this season feels calm.
That's a nice word, actually. It reminds us that things change. A bad season does not last forever. A good season also changes. That idea can feel comforting.
The word fan is very common. A fan is a person who loves and supports a team. For example, she is a big fan. People wear team clothes. They watch games. They feel proud.
Yeah, and sometimes people say, I'm a fan of that movie, or I'm a fan of this music. So being a fan just means you like something a lot. It's friendly language.
Next, let's look at win. To win means to be successful, to get a good result. For example, they win a lot. Winning feels good. People feel happy, proud, excited.
But win is not only for sports. We say, that was a win for me today, even for small things. Like finishing work early. Or having a calm day. So it's a very useful word.
And then there is lose. To lose means to not win. For example, sometimes we lose, and that's okay. Losing is part of sports, and part of life too.
Yeah, this word can feel heavy for learners. But it's a normal word. Everyone loses sometimes. A game. A chance. A feeling. It doesn't mean you are bad.
Another useful word is score. A score is the number of points in a game. For example, the score was close, but people also say, I scored a great job, meaning they got something good.
Right, English likes to borrow words from sports. That's why learning sports words helps with general English too.
The word match is also helpful. A match is another word for a game. For example, did you watch the match? Some people use game more. Some use match. Both are fine.
Then there's support. To support means to help or stand behind someone or something. For example, I support my team. But also, I support my friend. This word is very emotional.
Yeah, support is a big reason people love sports. They feel loyal. They stay even when the team loses. That feeling is very human.
Another phrase you might hear is, take it seriously. For example, he takes sports very seriously. This means someone cares a lot. Sometimes too much. Sometimes just enough.
And finally, a very common phrase is, it's just a game. People say this when emotions get too strong. It means, relax. It's not life or death. It's a reminder to stay calm.
All these words are simple. You don't need to study them hard. You'll hear them again and again. On TV. Online. In conversations.
The best way to learn them is gentle exposure. Hearing them, noticing them, using one when you feel ready.
You can choose one word today. Just one. Maybe team or win. And try to use it in a simple sentence about your life.
For example, today felt like a small win. Or, my family is my team. That's real English. That's enough.
And remember, vocabulary grows slowly. Like a plant. You water it a little. You don't pull it to make it grow faster.
You're doing well. Just by listening, you're learning. Even if it doesn't feel like it yet.
If this topic felt difficult, that's okay. You stayed. You listened. That matters.
Yeah. Learning English is not about being perfect. It's about showing up gently.
You don't need to understand everything today. Tomorrow is another chance.
Sports are just one window into American life. You are learning culture and language together.
Thank yourself for taking this time. You're doing better than you think.
If you want, you can comment, share how you feel, or subscribe and come back again.
We'll be right here. Calm. Slow. And ready when you are.